Introducing the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and many more. The Open Palm Podcast, where the host engages his listeners with inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas. Topics include: make more mistakes, how much is your value, don't get right, get going, learning to let go, excellence is a habit, and more. Binge listen today. Subscribe today. It's getting excellent ratings. That's the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. You can also find it on YouTube. Make sure you share it with your social networks and connect on Twitter and Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's the Open Palm Podcast with Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms. Go listen, download, and subscribe now.
Flowing water never grows stale. This quote I learned from Bruce Lee. It taught me a lot about energy and about allowing the energy in our lives to flow. One of the greatest things that I've learned about energy is that energy can be in material things. It is in everything. You are made up of energy. You are energy. So am I. So is this device I'm using to communicate with you, to give you this message. But so is every material thing. Think of the energy that you feel when you receive a postcard, the love that went into writing a letter or a happy birthday. That energy is wrapped up in that card. It was transferred from the body, through the arm, through the hand, through the pen, to the paper. Energy is in everything. So when we realize that energy can flow just like water, it can crash just like water, it can be still just like water, but just like water, energy, it wants to move, it needs to flow, or else it becomes stagnant, else it becomes stale. So, in more ways than one, we must let go in order to receive. Today, I went out and took all of my records. Now, these were vinyl records that I went out and specifically picked each one. I cherished all of these records, just like the video games and the movies. But I cherish these records. They reminded me of good times, dancing, and just escaping my reality, my everyday life, into this music. But just as I went out and picked out these R&B hits and these oldies and these classic funk records, I also knew later on that they weren't doing anything for anyone, collecting dust. They were just sitting there, unused. And one person may say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Trash or treasure, it's all energy. And if that energy is not moving, if it's not being used, why let it sit? Why leave it so? So I decided to go out and take all of this energy, all this material energy, and release it. Making room, giving space so that more new and fresh energy can come in. Out with the old, in with the new. So when I went to the stores to see who would take these records, it wasn't even about the money. Although I did receive a sum, it wasn't nearly as much as these records were worth. We're talking Michael Jackson vinyls and Prince vinyls and Stevie Wonder vinyls and all sorts of different timeless records. But I practically gave them away because it was about the energy. And now someone else will be able to enjoy what I once enjoyed. Someone else will have that first feeling of purchasing something they had been looking for, searching for, and they finally found it. Just like I did. Just like the very first time. And now that energy is out into the world, in the collective, free to roam in whatever household it ends up in, free to circulate this world. Evaluate your life. Evaluate the things that you have in your space, be it material things such as books, movies, clothes. Use the law, the rule of 80-20, where we know that 80% of the things we have, we only use 20% of the time. 80% of your clothes in your closet, odds are you only wear 20%. And vice versa, 20% you use 80% of the time. Let go, my friend. And you can only imagine the energy that will come back to you. You will find in time that it may even be a fun exercise. As I am now at the level where I look for more and more things to let go. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. The open palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. I pray you received a kind message, that it would allow you to learn the joy in letting go. Share this episode with a like-minded individual, learning and growing, becoming their greatest version, being all that they can be, just like you. Pay it forward so more can hear the message. And if this is your very first time receiving this podcast, welcome, my friend. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Definitely subscribe if you are not already for more inspirational messages like this. And if you feel compelled to support, consider opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw, and supporting the podcast there is much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you to all the wonderful supporters who continue to donate and contribute to the podcast. Much love to you. Have a wonderful and blessed rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and take care. Hey there, my friend. So you've heard about Anchor, but do you know why it's the easiest way to make a podcast? Well, first off, it's free. It allows you to use creation tools that let you record your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Can't wait to hear yours. Let's see what you have to offer the world.